Greetings and welcome. This is the New Thought Media Network. I'm Ken Ludwig. You are watching the Vibrant Living Hour. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, and happy and enjoying life to the fullest. Know whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, that you are just absolutely knocking it out of the park, feeling great about everything you're doing, enjoying your life, seeking love, joy, and enthusiasm everywhere. So it is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day. It's the 17th of March, 2022. My paternal grandmother was born on St. Patrick's Day, and I don't know what year, but it was probably, I'm going to say she was probably born in the late 1800s, maybe 1898 or 99 even. And my best friend out in San Diego, California, Fran Delaney, Swa, my buddy Swa, we call him Swa, short for Francois. Swa, happy birthday, brother. Hope it's a great one. His birthday is also today, St. Patty's Day. I was relating some St. Patty's Day stories to my sister-in-law earlier today, and some of them are pretty funny because they're before when I stopped drinking, which would have made them an interesting time. Okay, it was St. Patrick's Day was the occasion of my very first arrest. We'll skip all of that. My legal issues ended with sobriety 33 and a half years ago. But anyway, I can see you're out there. Thanks for watching the show. If you want to make a comment, I'm thrilled to hear from you. If you got something you want to talk about, if you want to make some comments about today's subject is the power of the mind. It's about the idea that nothing changes if nothing changes. This is an interesting subject for me because I spend a lot of time in meditation and prayer. My prayer is prayer work. It's not, it's not begging God. It's not, oh, please help me with this. It's claiming the good. As everybody who practices the science of mind, people who are new thought people that would be watching this network, you all get it, that we absolutely affirm the good that we already know exists. I love the way the Reverend Dr. Roger Teal always described it. Everything in the universe is twice created, once in mind and then once in reality. And Esther Hicks and Abraham describe it as in order to make that transition from in mind to in the physical, one must vibrate at the exact same frequency as that which we desire. All of that is through the power of the mind. It's all through work we do here between our ears in consciousness. The quantum world, the quantum physicists, quantum mechanics would tell us that the infinite ocean of possibilities contains everything that is conceivable for our lives, for our existence, already exists in the quantum field. And we literally get to choose what we want to experience by our minds. Esther Hicks likes to say all the time, Abraham likes to say that every single moment is a manifested moment. In other words, every moment that we are living, each and every day of our lives, this is the exact result of something we have already thought or been thinking. Rarely does anything happen instantaneously. It takes time. Over time, things transpire in our lives, but it all exists in mind. Mind and the quantum field to me are the same thing. Consciousness and the quantum, the infinite ocean of possibilities, the quantum wave, the quantum field, spirit, it is all the same thing, just different ways of expressing it. I know, scientists I shouldn't say scientists because that's not fair. Physicists in particular are the most spiritual of scientists because they have really connected the dots that there has to be an infinite ocean of possibilities. There has to be a higher creative intelligence that basically is the source with a capital S of all that we create in our lives, all that we know in our lives, all that exists in our lives. It is all coming from that same place. And quantum physicists know this. So the idea that that we create through the power of the mind, this is something that I have learned or been aware of or whatever. So for over 20 years, close to 25 years at this point, 26 or 27 years, actually, that when I first started to study metaphysics. And I got the idea from the very beginning that there is this power greater than we are, and we can use it, as the science of mind principles say. And the way we use it is through the power of the mind. Interesting how over time we forget that. We forget the simple. We forget to keep it simple. I am relearning all these things that are the simplest methods for simply experiencing the life that I truly require and desire. And it's simple. Is it easy? Not necessarily, but it is absolutely simple as simple can be. And I am, like I said, almost relearning it at this point, because I have come upon the idea that I really have not been using the tools. And the tools to me are knowing, first of all, that if you want to make change in your life, you have to change your mind. If you can't change your mind, you can't change anything. So you might as well start at the source, which is your mind. If you want to make things different in your life, you need to change your mind. What do I mean by that? Your thoughts, your thought patterns, the positive or negative tilt, if you will, of your thoughts. Ernest Holmes always said that you needed to have 51% of your thoughts had to be positive. And once you got to that point, you had reached a tipping point of making your thoughts positive. And it really is something that I coined years ago in my workshop. It's an idea of catch and correct. Whenever you find yourself with a not productive thought, a negative thought, a non-life affirming thought, a not enoughness thought, a I'm not good enough thought, any of those thoughts, whenever you catch yourself doing that, you just have to stop, take a beat, not beat yourself up for being a jerk for thinking it, but take a beat and correct yourself. This is not what I wanted to think. This is not what I said I was going to think at this point in my life. And then from this point forward, I'm going to think otherwise. I'm going to think in a more positive fashion. I'm going to think in a more life affirming fashion. That is what I'm relearning. And catch and correct works great for me. It was something I taught. And so it's easy for me to just kind of reacquire it. And I have said many, many times, I think I probably said it on the show, my definition of awareness is the time it takes to go from the negative thought to the positive thought that transposes it, transforms it. And awareness is closing the gap in time between those two things, so that eventually I am so clear and catch and correct that when I have a negative thought, I almost instantaneously transform that into something positive or life affirming or more in the direction of what it is that I really want to be, do, or have in this life. So that's the key piece. Number one, got to change your mind. If you want to change anything, and I'm not talking about necessarily, too often I get caught in this negative and positive thing, but suppose you've got something going on in your life that's really good. I have a great business. I'm an entrepreneur. I work from home. I have extraordinary products that I market. How did I lose that word? But I would like it to be better. In order for it to be better, I have to change what I'm thinking. And in order to change what I'm thinking, I have to do, number one, make a decision. Deciding is first and foremost, it's the clearest piece, that you have to absolutely decide, this is what I want in my life. I don't care if it's enhancing something you already have or taking a negative and making it positive. I don't care what it is. If you want it to change, you have to decide to make the change. Now, I love the word decide. Decide comes from the word discere. Discere is Latin for to learn. And it literally means, when you make a decision, the further down, I forgot the etymology now. Further down in the etymology of the word decide, you make a decision. The interpretation is you literally cut off from other possibilities. I've decided to do this. That means I'm not doing anything else. That means the other possibilities are not there. I'm not doing them. I have decided to do X. And let's you know what? And let's use my business. Let's use my business so I can make it personal. Maybe you can relate to this. My business, I want my business to flourish. I want my business to be bigger, to provide more for my beloved Lisa and I. I have decided that I will do the things I need to do in order to make that happen. Now, the next piece after deciding is that you have to believe you can do it. You can decide all you want. And if the little voice in your head is saying, get real, that's not happening, you're never doing this, that's not a snowball's chance in hell. If that's what's going on in your head, well, forget your decision. It just went out the window. You have to absolutely believe in the decision. And you have to do whatever it takes to get to that belief. Sometimes you have to borrow someone else's belief. Sometimes you have to look at things that are not necessarily your reality in the moment and believe that this is what you can do. This is what you are doing, not can do, not out in the future. This is what I am doing. I believe in this. I believe I am doing this. Time for my very famous at this point, I'm sure, my big sip of CBD infused coffee, my Thursday afternoon coffee. I don't have coffee any other afternoon of the week, but Thursday with my CBD infused coffee, which I love. I think I've told you before, I'm a coffee snob. I grind my own beans. So I make a half potent cup of my own beans and mix that with my little sleeve of my HempWorks hemp infused coffee. Delish. And it just gives you a little feeling of being alert, being alive, a wherewithal. It doesn't give you the kick of caffeine. It doesn't keep me awake at all. It doesn't make me feel jittery at all. It just tastes good. So you've made your decision and you're believing in that decision wholeheartedly. The next piece for me is to vision it. By visioning, I mean draw the picture of what it looks like, but do it from the standpoint of the, not of the observer, but as the participant. Picture yourself doing these things. Picture myself doing the networking events, doing the conversations with people. Picture myself using the products to great effect. Picture myself taking a sip on my show and exclaiming the joys of my CBD infused coffee. Not sitting back and looking at, oh, there's Ken having a sip of coffee, or there he is talking to people. No. Be in the picture. Be part of the picture so that you are absolutely in the diagram, if you in the diorama, if you will. If you remember that from school, you're in the play. You're part of the play. So you can literally look at it from the standpoint of observing yourself in the play, but you can't just be the observer of the play going on. If you're going to vision, you have to absolutely be a participant in it. Exactly, Tara, be in the moment. Then, once you have that participatory picture going on, now you have to take it a step further. Now you need to engage your senses. All 5 of your senses. And if you stop and think about it, you can engage your senses in any situation whatsoever. The 5 senses, you're in this situation. This is what I believe I am doing right now. What does that look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? And even, what does it taste like? Involve your senses. When you involve your senses, you're going to find yourself becoming emotionally charged around this picture that you have created of you in action, following your decision, your belief in the decision, now your vision of what it's going to be. As you see this and you get involved in it and you create an emotional charge around it, it is the inspiration, the inspiring of emotions that fires your experiences, the creation of your experiences. So you decide, you believe, you vision, you create. The piece that I had kind of dropped in the course of my life here is the visioning piece. And it's come to me as I have worked very, very diligently on a new addition to my meditation practice, which is I'm meditating. I have my mantra. I'm very much a third eye mantra person. I focus my attention in my third eye, and I kind of tended to connect my third eye to my pineal gland, and that's kind of where I am. I have taken to moving that consciousness from my head space to my heart space. And I did that, and I'll repeat this for you again. It's probably the third time I've said it on the show, but trust me, this is important. Science says that the average human chest area produces 20 photons of light per second. Every cell in your body produces light because of the electrical charge and blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other workshop, as my friend Barry Ebert used to say. You produce 20 photons of light, more or less, from your chest. People who meditate on good or love and light for others increase that photon production 5,000 fold, from 20 photons per second to 100,000 photons per second. And projecting that out as love and light to others just facilitates that whole thing. It makes it a perpetual motion kind of thing. I started doing that in reference to world order, world peace, in reference to what's going on in Ukraine. And I started to use it as a tool to send that love and light to the people of Ukraine, to the people of Russia, to Vladimir Zelensky and his family, and even to Putin. Everyone involved, love and light. Remember, hate does not conquer hate. Only love can do that. So from that particular point there, doing that, I started to get this feeling like, you know what? All the things that I require and desire in this life, in my existence, I can apply that exact same technology, if you will, to those thoughts, to those ideas, so that I can be using the power of love and light to bring my vibration, my emotion, my energy level up to the level of manifesting what it is I desire out of that, whatever, the quantum wave, the infinite ocean of possibilities, the infinite mind, whatever you want to call it. I can bring that in. I can call that in. And I find a great feeling of satisfaction, fulfillment, a feeling that, yes, this is happening. Yes, I have put those mechanics in motion. The law always says yes. My only responsibility then is to make proper use of the law so that its yes works for me. And if the universe is always saying yes, then I just need to be in line with that yes. I need to, I guess the way I just said it is the simplest way. I need to make proper use of the creative forces of the universe so that when the universe says yes, it is working for me. Those are part of some of the things that I just completely kind of forgot about in the world. The visioning piece. Decide, believe, vision, create. I go back to, excuse me, a seminal book in the world of metaphysics of consciousness is Shakti Gawain's book, Creative Visualization, which I used to know these things by heart. Time passes, the mind doesn't remember everything. But I don't remember when she wrote the book, but it is a seminal book that I read probably 25 years ago. And it is a great book on the kind of the step-by-step instructions of visioning your life. Later on down the road, Michael Beckwith wrote a book called wow, the name of his book just went out of my head. But part of what his book is about his process called visioning. Visioning is kind of taking the idea of creative visualization. Visioning is a step-by-step process where there are 5 or 6 questions you ask yourself or you ask a group, and you think on it, meditate on it, and then without editing yourself, without self-editing, you write down the responses. And then what you do is compare the responses and be absolutely flabbergasted at the commonalities of your answers with other people, because there's only, of course, only one mind, and there you go. There's lots and lots and lots of other resources for visioning and visualization. If you read the Ernest Holmes seminal work, The Science of Mind, that the textbook has lots of different thought processes around creating what you want in mind. He talks about it in terms of creating in mind. I talk about it in terms of visioning. And be in the vision. Do not be observing it from here. Be in it. Be acting in it. Whatever it is you want to create. If I want my business to be better, if I want my business to produce more, then I have to picture myself in the business, actually working the business, doing the things that I need to do in order to enhance it. Not out here seeing them happen, but in there doing them. Takes a little work if you want to make that happen, but you can absolutely make that happen. There you go. That was my biggest thought for the day. If you want to change anything, it starts in mind. It absolutely starts in mind. If you can't change your mind, you're not going to change a darn thing in this world. The other thing I just wanted to talk for a minute about here, and I don't want to belabor this too much, but because we all know what's going on in Ukraine, we all know what's happening. I think we have a responsibility as people of faith, as people of consciousness, we just have a responsibility. We have with all the freedoms that we have. With great freedom comes great responsibility. Our freedom gives us the responsibility to do whatever we can to assist the arrival of peace and harmony in Ukraine. Now, for the most of us, there's not a whole lot we can do from here. I'm sitting in Raleigh, North Carolina. What I can do from here is pretty limited. But what I can do is what I mentioned earlier. I can, in my meditation, take my meditation into my heart space, lift my consciousness to a place of peace and harmony and love. And as you all know, when I lift my consciousness to that space, lifting my consciousness lifts all consciousness, because there's only one consciousness, and a rising tide lifts all boats. If I lift mine, you're coming with me, because there's no place else to go. I've talked about this on the show before. I want to say it again because it's an important time in history to do this. People meditating on specific results brings results. And the best example is myriad studies that have been done. But the one that sticks in my mind, I believe, was out of Chicago. And they did a study on certain number of people meditating on what at the time was an exorbitant crime rate, which I guess Chicago's back to now, unfortunately. But this was decades ago. And they meditated on a certain time frame and cutting the crime rate. And they literally cut it by 25% during this time frame that they were meditating on. Somebody then somewhere along the line extrapolated what is required in order for us to change circumstances. And in order to do that, you need the square root of 1% of the population to meditate. And that will give you results. Now, in order to just make that tangible, 1% of 10,000 people is 100. The square root of 100 is 10. 10 people meditating on a specific result can have the ability to change the experiences of 10,000 people. And go back to that idea with the photons, okay? The 100,000 photons that you are emanating from your chest when you are meditating from a space of love and light here, you absolutely have the capability of raising the vibration of that light energy to a place where it can heal illness, it can change events, it can actually change matter. Science. That's all science. That's not me making it up. That's not me doing some mumbo jumbo stuff. That's all science. So what can we do for peace and harmony in the world? Rather than just sit from that standpoint of, and I totally get it, where if we want to sit from the standpoint of, oh my God, there's nothing I can do. I don't know how to make this better. I don't know how to make this happen. We can sit in the silence. We can meditate from the heart space and send love and light to the world. You can send love and light to your finances. You can send love and light to your relationship. You can send love and light to your siblings, to your parents. You can send love and light to your mayor. I don't care where you direct it, it works. And you are absolutely generating this vibration that has the scientifically proven capability to change circumstances, to transform negative events. So that's pretty much what I had for you today. If anybody out there's got a question, a thought, something to put into the mix here, I'm ready, willing, and able to accept your thoughts into my world here. But it was really important to me today to kind of express what I'm going through as far as my changing my approach to my practice, my meditation, my desire to manifest what I require and desire in this life. But at the same time, make it really clear that we all have the ability, and I think a responsibility, to do our very, very, very best to uplift the consciousness, to raise it up, to make it something bigger and better and stronger and healthier and more life-affirming and more loving. And we can each do that. And it starts there. One of the great sayings, and I'll have to look this up for you for next week, and I love this expression: all of our troubles stem from our mistaken idea that something outside of our own hearts must change first. It's not just change your thinking and change your life, change your heart and change your life. What you feel at the core of your being, what you express at the core of your being, that is what you are expressing into the universe, into the world, into your relationships, into your business, into your friendships, into everything. If there is something that you want different, change your thinking and change your heart around it. Remember, this place, New Thought Media Network, we are a nonprofit organization. We thrive on your donations. ntmedia.org and click on donate. That's newthoughtmedia.org, ntmedia.org. Click on donate. We are thrilled to get your donations. Of course, you all know that HempWorks is the sponsor of my show. HempWorks, the greatest, the finest, purest, most efficacious CBD oils you're going to find anywhere in the world. I guarantee that, or your money back. We have one of my all-time favorites here. This is our hand and body lotion. This stuff is just thick and rich and creamy, and it does the job. Relief cream. You want a little pain relief for making joints, sore muscles? Try that baby on for size. Of course, you saw the HempWorks coffee. I want to tell you about one of the products that comes up. HempWorks is the sponsor of the show, but HempWorks is one brand under the banner of a company called My Daily Choice. And at mydailychoice.com, you'll see that scroll down at the bottom there. At mydailychoice.com, you'll find our micronized spray technology nutritional sprays. Off the charts. This one helps me sleep at night. And all I can tell you, folks, is that no one could have been more skeptical about spray nutritionals than me. These just flat out work. Want to clean up your gut, lose some weight? Go to bodymelt.com, another sponsor of the show. You can find me on Instagram, well, sometimes at evolvinghippie.com. No, it's just evolving_hippie. That's Instagram. You can reach me email me at teamrockitnow@gmail.com, or you can find me on my Facebook page, my branded Facebook page with my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging. If there is anything I can do for you in any way around any thoughts, any, I don't know, anything that's going on. Oh, one more piece. A lot of you know that I used to teach in the teen church at Mile High Church, and I used to facilitate the young adult ministry there as well. And I've maintained friendships. I haven't done either of those in 8 years, and I've maintained friendships with a lot of those young people that really, I'm very proud of that. It makes me feel really good. And I maintain those connections. Interestingly enough, I have noticed a lot of them have gone to a space of being alcohol free, not cutting down on their drinking, going alcohol free. And some of them, a good deal of them, know that I've been sober now for 33 and a half years. And I find it extraordinary that they are putting aside the things that alter their mental state. And they are going to a sober life, going to a life free of that what I don't know what you want to call it, mind altering, brain altering. They're just kind of letting that go, which I find it extraordinary. I find it rewarding. I find it fabulous that they're doing that. And congratulations to each and every one of them. I'm proud of them. I have said this many, many times in my life. Since I got sober 33 and a half years ago on July 5th, 1988, every single day that I have been sober has been better than the day before. No exceptions. Every single day is better than the last. And I think part of that is because I've got over 12,000 days of sobriety, 12,400, I think, some days of sobriety. So that's it for me. As always, I am immensely grateful for the incredible gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all of the love and blessings that the universe has to offer. And I hope you will come and join me next Thursday at this exact same time, 4 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I've never lived in Central Time in my life. I don't know what I'm talking about. Until then, namaste.